Medium man, physical medium man, physical medium man. What'd you buy? Was it something good?
What's up, guys? Physical Media Man back here again for another Physical Media Man Monday video. I have April movie reviews. Watched a lot of good stuff this month. But before I get started, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, leave feedback, do all that good stuff down below. I'll leave the links to my Instagram page, my Physical Media Man Store Instagram page, my Facebook page for the Physical Media Man / Physical Media Man Store, my Facebook page for non-media related items to Hodgepodge Garage, my email, my eBay, my Twitter, and my Letterboxd account. So yeah, watched 12 titles in the month of April. A lot of good stuff. Quite a few physical copies, quite a few on streaming. So I'm just going to get ahead and get started. So first up, we watched The Maltese Falcon. I wanted to see if I wanted to pick up the new 4K that was coming out. Had always heard good things. I think I might have had too high expectations for this one. It follows Humphrey Bogart, who's a private investigator, and his partner is killed early on in the film, and he tries to find out who did it, and it all has to do with this Maltese Falcon. There's also, I think it's Barbara Stanwyck, maybe, is the woman in the movie, and they're both really good. The acting's really good. I just wasn't into it. I would kind of compare it to Double Indemnity. It's that type of film, and I just like that one more. I still really liked it. If I had the physical copy, I probably would just keep it. But right now, I'm not going to try to track it down. If I find it for a good deal, I might buy it because I did like it. I just thought it was going to be a little bit better, or I would have enjoyed it a little more for some reason. I don't know. But I'm giving it a 3.5. So still a very good score. And looks like the highest score of anything that we watched this month. So yeah, really enjoyed it. Next up, we watched Dragonheart, and this one I had lower expectations for. Just bought it because it just come out when I bought it, and it was only $12.99, and it didn't come with a slipcover in the store at any of the stores. This is one of the Shout Factory 4Ks. So sometimes they're coming with slipcovers, sometimes they aren't. I guess usually all the collector's editions ones do, and this one's not one of those. But yeah, I thought it was a good deal. I figured I'd watch it. If I didn't like it, I could sell it and definitely, hopefully, recoup the cost. And if I did like it, then I could just keep it, and I got it for a good deal. So ended up liking it and ended up keeping it. So we got Dennis Quaid, who is like a knight, and he early on in the movie is supposed to guard the king's son, the prince. And his dad dies right at the beginning of the movie, and then it's like 15 years later or something, and the guy he guarded, the prince, ends up not being a very good king, or a mean one. And Dragon, the main dragon in the movie, or really the only dragon, I think, is voiced by Sean Connery, which is fun. So you end up really liking Dennis Quaid's character, and I had fun with this one, so I'm keeping it. I'm giving it 3 stars. Next up, we watched My Blue Heaven, which starred Steve Martin and Rick Moranis. Pretty funny premise and movie. Steve Martin plays a mafia member, so he's doing an accent and everything. It's pretty funny. And he's really dumb or just acts like a criminal all the time, and he's in witness protection, and Rick Moranis is like the FBI guy that's supposed to protect him and everything, and there's just a lot of funny things going on, and I had quite a bit of fun with it. I am only going to give it a 2.5 stars. I think I would usually give it 3. I probably should, honestly, but I have so many 3s this month because we watched so many good movies. I'm giving it a 2.5, but if you haven't seen it, definitely worth checking out. I would probably pick it up just because I had a lot of fun with it. It's not an amazing movie, but it is very enjoyable. yeah, it's pretty funny. So it's part of the Warner Archive collection. So maybe at another sale, I might end up grabbing it. Next up, we watched Erin Brockovich starring Julia Roberts. This one does have a Blu-ray. That was part of the reason I wanted to watch it. This one has been on our queue for a while and never got around to it. It's been on Groove's website a lot recently too, around $5.99. So I might end up upgrading because we like this one. Based on a true story, starring Julia Roberts. She's a single parent with 3 children, and the movie starts out where she's in a car wreck, and I think she sues and doesn't get anything, or somehow she's had a lot of money problems. It ends up going back and trying to work for the attorney that she had hired herself, and she stumbles upon this case that's going on, and does some amazing work, and has continued to do amazing work since then. It's a very inspiring story, very eye-opening, similar to the Dark Waters film. If you haven't seen that, it's very good too. So yeah, definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it. Giving it 3 stars, and I plan on upgrading. I was going to stop, but I'm not going to. Okay. Next up, we watched The Prince of Egypt. This was the last one they had in the store when I bought it. I thought the slipcover was awesome. I don't remember ever watching this growing up, but I know a lot of people are fans of it, so I wanted to check it out and give it a watch. And it was only like 19 or 20, so went ahead and grabbed it. Glad I did. A lot of good voice actors in the film. Mariah Carey sings a song. Of course, they don't have anybody listed. Hans Zimmer music's also scores really good. This is the story of Moses and everything. Can't remember off the top of my head who all was voices in the movie, and it doesn't say. But definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it, or if you're a fan of it. It looked pretty good on 4K, so I'm giving it 3 stars. Sorry I don't have more to talk about on it, but I don't remember who was in it. Next one is another... after that, we watched Extraction on Netflix. Sorry, I almost skipped a movie. Yeah, so we watched Extraction on Netflix, starring Chris Hemsworth. I think it was directed by the Russo brothers, and it was really good. He's like a CIA type guy, or a mercenary type person, and he's paid to go extract this drug dealer's son, who's a hostage of his other rival drug dealers. So he's paid to go extract him from them and bring him back to his home. And really action movie, a lot of fun, or not a lot of fun, but very good action, very good movie, definitely worth watching. They're coming out with a second one, but this is a really well done action movie, and definitely recommend it if you haven't seen it. It's giving it a 3 star. And then next up, we got With Honors. This was another one I had been wanting to watch for a while, or we had in the queue for a while. Another Brendan Fraser film. This one also has Joe Pesci, Patrick Dempsey, Moira Kelly, but it stars Brendan, who he lives in an apartment with these other, or house with these other 3 individuals, and they're all at Harvard, and he's working on his thesis, and he goes to make a copy of it and drops it like in a dungeon or something almost, or boiler room, and Joe Pesci, who is a homeless man, is the one that has it, and he makes him work to get the pages back from his thesis. But he's not the normal homeless man. He's very intelligent, and they kind of strike up a friendship. And this was a really good movie, definitely worth watching if you haven't seen it. Highly recommend it. And it does not have a Blu-ray, so I will be hanging on to this DVD in my collection, giving it 3 stars. Next up, I've been wanting to watch for so long, finally got it watched. Enjoyed it. Maybe I had too high expectations for this one. It's definitely worth watching. I need to dive in the special features. This is the main reason I started collecting the MVD Rewind line. We got Lionheart with Jean-Claude Van Damme. And unfortunately, I'm giving it 2.5. I did enjoy it though. And I do plan on keeping it, obviously, because I have all of the other ones in the MVD Rewind collection. Honestly, I think I like Double Impact a little more. I thought it was more enjoyable, as well as Bloodsport is amazing. Definitely my favorite of his. I have not watched yet Kickboxer, but this one wasn't awful. So, movie starts out, he's a soldier, and he's like in a prison camp, and his brother is in LA and he's seriously injured. So he escapes from this French Legion and goes to see what he can do to help. And there's some fighting and stuff, and it was just okay. But I still had fun with it, and glad to have watched it finally. Next up, another one I don't have a physical copy of. We watched The Phantom of the Open. It stars, I can't remember his name, but he's the main guy in Bridge of Spies besides Tom Hanks. He's in some other stuff. Based on a true story, which is amazing, about this guy who never really played around a golf, and kind of faked his way into getting to play in the British Open, and setting the record for the worst score ever. And ends up somehow being able to do it more than once. So is really fun, some laughs, an enjoyable watch, especially if you're a golfer or a golf fan. But just a wild true story, giving it 3 stars on that one. And I'll probably try to track it down if I can get it for a good price. Next up, this does have a Blu-ray, but it does go for a little bit. We got Hugh Grant, Marissa Tomei, and The Rewrite. So Hugh Grant plays a movie writer, screenwriter, Hollywood screenwriter, and he had a very big hit, like one of the most famous movies ever, which is just a made-up movie in this movie. And he has hit a real rough patch and having trouble getting work, so he ends up accepting this job to be a professor at this college. It also has Allison Janney, J.K. Simmons, Chris Elliott. They all play professors, and Marissa Tomei is one of his students. It was just a good watch, kind of rom-com-ish, but quite a bit going on with the story, so giving it 3 stars as well. And lastly, we watched 2 movies directed by Randall Kleiser, who directed most famously Grease. He was in my hometown. We got to go to a screening of Grease, where he also did a Q&A afterwards. I didn't end up asking any questions, but we did get some pictures afterwards with him, as well as he autographed both copies of the movies that we watched. We got Honey, I Blew Up the Kid and Grease. He's got quite an odd filmography. He also, I think, was either roommates with George Lucas or he's really good friends with him. They both went to USC. He's had a very interesting career. So, so he had a string of Disney movies. He did this Honey, I Blew Up the Kid, I think White Fang, Flight of the Navigator, and another Disney movie. But then also Grease, Big Top Pee-wee. But anyways, first up we watched Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. And I think I honestly had more fun with this than Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. And I honestly think I might have watched this one more growing up, strangely. But But currently having a baby, under 2 age child, this was extra funny because it's a kid that gets blown up, and a lot of funny scenarios happen because of that. And he kind of acts like our daughter a little bit in ways, and we were just losing it in certain spots. So I mean, it follows after the first film, and he has the same product, and he accidentally blows up his kid instead of shrinking his kid. So yeah, it's just a lot of fun. Unfortunately, he kind of smeared this one, but I thought it turned out great. I picked out the red because I thought it would look good with both of these, especially this one. So yeah, had a lot of fun with this one, giving it a 3 stars. And then Grease is a classic. I'm giving it 3 stars too. I probably should give it 3.5 at least. But this was still just as enjoyable as, this is really, honestly, I think the second time I had watched the film. So I watched this in my high school auditorium, and they just had it on the screen. So it wasn't a great movie watching experience, just because the auditorium wasn't really set up for that. But it was really neat that he was there, and he did the Q&A and signed stuff after and everything. So it was really neat that our small town was able to put that on and everything. And yeah, so this stars John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John, who are quite different in what kind of class they're in, and or what they belong with, like nerds or jocks or whatever. But they meet each other for the first time during summer break and kind of fall in love, and then they go their separate ways because they don't think they're going to be able to see each other ever again. And they end up going to the same high school, and so there's some funny stuff that goes on. Great music in this one. Just a really well done film, very enjoyable. Yeah, I honestly listened to the music more. Finally watched the movie quite a few years ago, but I had only seen it the one time, so it was fun revisiting this one. Definitely a classic, and deserves the praise it gets. So yeah, so that's everything we watched for April. Very good month for watching films. We watched some great ones. Nothing less than a 2.5, so I definitely can't complain about that. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope you guys have watched some good movies yourselves in these last few months. So this is Physical Media Man signing off. Physical media will never die.
Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Physical Media Man. Yeah!